overhead squats are one of the more challenging exercises to do properly. If you have any type of tightness in your hips, ankles, spine, an overhead squat is going to show that for sure. So you have to be able to move well in order to do a good overhead squat. So I'm going to show you what a good one should look like, and in a different video, some different things that you can work on in order to improve that. Okay, so you will need something that you can hold up overhead. So I have here a broom, a a mop, a rake, anything. If you have a wooden dowel at home, that's great, but anything that you can use just to practice the movement. So what you're going to do is take whatever you have, start with that bar right on your head. Okay, now you want a 90-degree angle at those elbows to set up. Okay, so I'm going to set up 90 degrees at my elbows. I'm going to press that bar up overhead. Now when I'm doing this, okay, I'm not loose in my shoulders, okay, so I'm pressing that bar up and I'm rotating my arms forward. So I'm not shrugging, okay, I'm pulling my shoulder blades back, and think about like showing off your armpits, okay, so like think about turning everything forward, pressing that bar up, okay, palms up a little bit more towards the ceiling, okay, they don't need to be forward here, rotate them up, okay, arms nice and tight. From here, feet can be about hip distance apart. The better you are, the narrower they can be. I am someone who struggles with very tight ankles, so this is not going to be great, and I'll show you a couple of modifications that you can do. But for now, what I want you guys to do is work on doing the best you can, even if it's not perfect. Okay, so arms up overhead, arms turned forward, everything nice and tight here. I'm going to initiate this movement. Hips go back, but I'm really driving my knees out, trying to get nice and low and pulling that bar up overhead. So you can see from the side, pulling that bar back. Now notice where the bar position is. I'm not way back here. Okay, this is actually pretty easy. Okay, I can bend forward, I can get into a nice deep squat, but that bar is not in a good position, especially if you're doing any weight overhead. That's going to be pretty compromised. So bar should be in line with your ears or just slightly behind, locking that in nice and tight. Hips go back, but drive those knees out. Okay, different than a back squat or a front squat where your hips go way back. With an overhead squat, hips do go back, but we're coming more straight down. Okay, so the movement is pretty upright. So if you notice, for me, I get a little bit stuck at the bottom here, and I can't quite get my hips all the way down. As I said, my ankles are pretty tight. So one way to compensate for that is I have a little board here. I'm going to put my heels up on that board, start same position. Okay, now you can see I can get much lower. Arms stay straight up overhead, shoulders, ankles in a nice straight line. That's how an overhead squat should look. So what I want you guys to do is to work on the good form without any sort of implement. I did that so you could see what it looked like. And then we're just going to keep practicing. If you notice that you are struggling with mobility in a couple different areas, watch my other video to see what things you can do in order to improve some of those things.